All right, good morning, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. It's a privilege to be before you as we develop or explore one of the most critical developments in Kenya's construction industry, the national building code. I need to say I'm not new to the built environment industry because for over 2 decades I've been actively engaged in advocating for meaningful change and growth in this sector. My journey started way back in 2002 when I began publishing articles in national newspapers to highlight critical issues affecting our construction industry. On the international stage, I attended the annual conference of the International Code Council in Orlando, Florida in 2006. This knowledge exchange was pivotal in shaping my perspective and approach. My insights have even been featured in the ICC's Building Safety Journal, published in Washington, D.C. Locally, I've been at the forefront of grassroots advocacy, and in 2002, alongside my friend Humphrey Buradi, we launched the Urban Torch campaign in Kakamega to promote urban development awareness. I also co-founded the Muyenga Water Community Project, a community-driven initiative that has received recognition and support from the ICC's Global Membership Council. Over the years, I've published multiple opinion pieces in leading Kenyan outlets such as the Daily Nation, Business Daily, and The Star, covering topics like sustainability, safety standards, and building codes. My contributions extend to AAK newsletters and participation in stakeholder forums for the upcoming National Building Code 2024, led by the National Construction Authority. These experiences reflect a lifelong commitment to fostering a safer, more sustainable, and forward-thinking built environment in Kenya. As we strive, I'll share insights from this journey that tie into the transformative potential of the National Building Code. So, what are the highlights in the new code? This new code aims to align Kenya's construction industry with global best practices, promoting sustainable and climate-resilient urban development. It incorporates eco-friendly materials and methods while addressing climate resilience, with provisions for seismic safety and adaptable designs to withstand climate impacts. The code also integrates high-standard international building practices, with periodic updates to stay current with global trends. On sustainability, that is urban sustainability, it emphasizes low emission and compact urban planning in line with global climate smart city strategies. For enforcement, the National Construction Authority will conduct mandatory inspections on construction sites with penalties of up to Kenya shillings 1 million or imprisonment for 3 years for non-compliance as per the Business Laws Amendment Act number 1 of 2020. The National Construction Authority Act 2011 has been amended to enforce compliance and ensure the code is properly implemented. Well, in essence, this new framework promotes safer, more sustainable construction, ensuring Kenya keeps up with global standards and ensures urban development that benefits all. The National Code 2024 comprises of 25 chapters focusing on the specific items in the building envelope and shell. These include preliminaries, site and space about buildings, parking spaces, preparation of construction sites, building materials, structural design, space within buildings, floors, walls, lighting and ventilation, glazing and cladding, staircases and escalators, roofs, water services, drainage, water disposal and stormwater drainage, electrical installations, landscaping, inspection and maintenance, non-waterborne waste disposal, refuse disposal, people living with disabilities, fire safety and fire installations, and then demolition of buildings, and then disaster risk management on construction sites, then access roads and cul-de-sacs and other accesses, and then finally miscellaneous chapter, that is the transition chapter. With the preliminaries, that is the first chapter, which is dealing with legal and administrative frameworks. The 1968 code laid a foundation for construction regulations but lacked enforcement mechanisms, leading to substandard practices. The 2024 code addresses these gaps by modernizing the framework, introducing Kenya standards, and empowering the the National Construction Authority for compliance and enforcement. Key highlights in these preliminaries include Clause 3, that is the purpose, which ensures safety, integrity, and sustainability. The scope, that's Clause 4, defines where the code applies. Then there is the Clause 6, supervision, which requires qualified professionals for construction oversight. The expected outcomes from this first chapter, it provides a solid legal foundation for standardized and enforceable construction practices. And then the reference laws include Architects and Quantity Surveyors Act, the Engineers Act 2011, the Public Health Act, KSES 18 Cement Specifications, and KS 2804, that is fire classifications. Siting and space about buildings. The 1968 code provided limited guidelines for site selection and spacing. In contrast, the 2024 code introduces zoning principles, environmental impact assessments, and disaster risk considerations, ensuring optimal land use and sustainable urban planning. Key regulations promote organized urban development and safety, compliance with physical planning, that is at Clause 7, ensuring adherence to urban standards. Space around buildings, space around residential buildings at Clause 14, safeguards privacy and air circulation. Then there is the service areas, which is at Clause 11, allocate space for utilities. And then obstruction of view, that is at Clause 13, prevents sightline blockages. And then there is building safety at Clause 33, eliminating hazards to the public. And then there are standards like KS 548 for precast pipes, KS 211.12.1 for electrical installation security installations, KS 2012-2 for access control and non-lethal security fences, enhance infrastructure safety and efficiency. So part 3, parking spaces. Parking standards in the 1968 code were basic, reflecting low vehicle ownership at that time. The 2024 code introduces a forward-thinking framework to meet modern urban parking demands. Some clauses include electric vehicle charging stations promoting sustainable energy use, multi-level parking designs optimizing urban land usage, accessibility provisions, that's at Clause 39, ensuring inclusive infrastructure for all users. Key regulations ensure parking is safe, efficient, and functional. We have parking requirements at Clause 35, establishes minimum spaces based on building usage. Vehicular circulation at Clause 36, designed for smooth traffic flow. There is introduction of charging ports for electric vehicles. Clause 38 supports the shift to green energy. Then there is pedestrian guarding at Clause 39, which protects pedestrians from vehicular traffic. Then there is vehicle ramp design at Clause 42, regulates ramps for safe access. These are supported by international and local standards, which include IEC 62196 for electric vehicle charging connector standards. Then there is KSEN 1991, structural actions for safety, including vehicular barriers. Then there is KS ISO 21542, accessibility in building construction. Part 4, preparation of construction sites. Site preparation under the 1968 code was basic, focusing solely on clearing and leveling. The 2024 code broadens the scope to integrate modern environmental and safety considerations, ensuring sustainable development and worker welfare. Key highlights in this chapter include site protection at Clause 47, which ensures construction sites are secured for safety. There is damage to public utilities at Clause 48, which makes contractors responsible for repairing any damage to public infrastructure. And then there is soil quality at Clause 41, which mandates testing soil suitability for foundations to prevent structural failures. Then there is dust and noise control at clause 52, which protects public and worker health through strict air and sound pollution measures. Then site facilities at clause 57 requires the provision of water and sanitation facilities for worker welfare. The supporting standards and regulations for this chapter include KS ISO 11074, vocabulary and standards for soil quality, KS 999, soil testing methods for civil engineering purposes. Then there is Environmental Management and Coordination Air Quality Regulations 2014, which governs air quality on and around construction sites. Then there is KS 662, standards for safe electrical installations on construction sites. Why does this matter? So the 2024 code transforms construction site preparation into a more structured, environmentally conscious and worker-friendly process. This ensures safer sites, preservation of natural ecosystems, and better health standards for workers and the public. Part 5, Building Materials. The 1968 code provided generic material specifications, focusing little on sustainability. Well, the 2024 code prioritizes sustainability, endorsing locally sourced and renewable materials while restricting those with a high carbon footprint. Key highlights for building materials include Building Materials Clause 58, which sets standards for material quality and durability. Then Clause 59 talks about used materials, providing guidelines for recycled and second-hand materials, promoting sustainability. Supporting laws and standards for this, we just have the Standards Act, that is CAP 496, which governs material standards. Then, of course, there is a Codes of Practice, which ensures materials meet safety and quality standards. Why does this matter? The Code 2024 ensures safe, durable, and environmentally friendly materials, contributing to sustainable construction practices and long-lasting structures. So when we transit to the next slide, we are going to talk about, we'll discuss structural design and how it aligns with these material standards. That is for overall building safety and integrity. Part 6, that is structural design. The 1968 code relied on prescriptive methods limiting innovation in design. The 2024 code adopts a performance-based approach allowing for creative solutions while maintaining structural safety, especially in earthquake-prone areas. Well, there are key highlights in this chapter which include structural design principles, clause 60 to 61, emphasizing sound construction practices. Then there is foundation design at clause 64 to 67, which ensures stability with specific foundation protocols. Then there is load considerations at clause 71 to 76, which defines load calculations for integrity. And then there is wind and earthquake loads at clause 81 and 82, essential for seismic and wind resistant designs. Then there is the aspect about supervision of structural works at clause 68 with professional oversight during construction. There are some supporting standards here, that is KSEN 1990, which is a basis of design, KSEN 1991 to 1999, standards for various structural materials including concrete, steel, timber, and earthquake resistant designs. So why does this chapter matter? The 2024 code promotes resilient, safe, and compliant designs, ensuring buildings are stable, innovative, and able to withstand environmental forces like wind and earthquakes. Transitioning to the next slide, moving forward, we will explore how these design principles contribute to the overall safety and sustainability of the building under the new code. It deals with spaces within buildings. The 1968 code did not prioritize interior space design, leading to limited consideration for functionality. and accessibility. Well, the 2024 code introduces comprehensive standards ensuring spaces are user-friendly, accessible, and adaptable to all. Key highlights in this chapter includes minimum space requirements, that is at clause 87, which sets the space standards for rooms to ensure comfort. Then there is room story height, clause 89 and 93, which ensures proper lighting and ventilation for healthy environments. Then there is multipurpose rooms at clause 90, which specifies floor area for flexibility and adaptability. Then there is balcony protection at clause 91 and 92, which ensures safety around openings and balconies. Then there is the swimming pool design at clause 96, which establishes safety and healthy standards for pools. Well, the supporting standards for this chapter include KS 2793, which are standards for swimming pool equipment. So, why does this chapter matter? The 2024 code ensures that interior spaces are safe, comfortable, and functional, promoting inclusive living spaces that cater to diverse needs. Next, we'll delve into how these space requirements integrate with overall design to enhance safety, comfort, and adaptability. Chapter 8, that is the chapter that deals with floors. The 1968 code emphasized durability in floor construction, but it did not consider comfort factors like comfort and acoustic performance. Well, the 2024 code incorporates these elements, ensuring floors are not only stable, but are also energy efficient and comfortable. Key highlights in the chapter for floors include general floor construction at clause 97, which ensures floor stability for long-lasting performance. Then there is black cotton soil considerations at clause 98, addresses special soil expansion issues to prevent floor movements. And then there is timber floor standards at clause 100, which ensures the stability of timber floors, factoring in material behavior. Then the floor chapter has also some supporting standards, which include KS 1002, which is anti-termite pre-construction treatment, KS 1003, anti-termite treatment for existing buildings. Then there is KSEN 1995-11, it deals with timber structures, design standards. So why does this matter? The 2024 code promotes structural integrity in floor construction, ensuring safety, durability, and comfort through better thermal and acoustic performance. Chapter 9, we are dealing with walls. The 1968 code prescribed basic structural requirements for walls, but the 2024 code goes further by incorporating thermal insulation, energy efficiency, and advanced materials like composite panels, addressing modern construction needs. Key highlights in this chapter include wall design and functionality, which ensures structural strength, stability, and fire resistance for safety. Moisture and weather protection, which guarantees that walls resist environmental factors such as rain and temperature extremes. Then there is wall types, which specifies requirements for external, foundation, retaining, and separating walls. Then there are the supporting standards for this chapter, which include KS 547, talks about burnt clay building block specification, KS 625, which includes precast masonry unit specifications. Then there is the KSEN 1995-11, which talks about timber structure design rules. Then there is the KS 771, which talks about softwood timber grade specification for structural use. Why does this matter? The 2024 code ensures stable, durable, and safe wall construction that enhances energy efficiency and climate resilience through modern materials and practices. We are on chapter 10, that is lighting and ventilation. The 1968 code focused on natural lighting and ventilation, but it lacked the depth and innovation needed for modern building standards. Well, the 2024 code integrates energy-efficient artificial lighting and advanced ventilation systems, ensuring comfort, health, and energy conservation. Key highlights include lighting and ventilation requirements, that is clauses 133 to 139, which provides fundamental guidelines for both natural and artificial lighting and ventilation. We have window design and functionality, clauses 142 and 156, which sets specifications for window size, placement, and airflow to optimize lighting and ventilation. Then we have ventilation systems for different spaces, that is at clause 146 to 159, which defines standards for ventilation in habitable rooms, pantries, sanitary areas, etc. Then there is artificial ventilation and air conditioning, clauses 154 to 167, which addresses air conditioning, exhaust, and heating systems for enhanced comfort. So the supporting standards for this chapter include Energy Act 2019, number 1 of 2019, which governs energy efficiency in buildings, ISO 89951, lighting of space workspaces standards. Then there is ISO 5636-5 203, air permeability specifications for specialized spaces. So why does this matter? The 2024 code ensures adequate natural light and proper ventilation, boosting the health, comfort, and productivity of occupants while controlling energy consumption for more sustainable, cost-effective buildings. Chapter 11, we are on glazing and cladding. The 1968 code had minimal focus on glazing and cladding systems, overlooking key safety and aesthetic considerations. Well, the 2024 code addresses these concerns by specifying safety standards for tempered glass and promoting energy-efficient cladding materials, aligning with modern architectural trends. The key highlights that we have for these, it includes types and installation of glazing, that is clauses 172 to 175, which sets safety requirements for glazing materials and installation practices. Then there is glass safety and breakage at clauses 174 to 176, which establishes standards to reduce the risk of injury from glass breakage. Then there is thermal and energy efficiency, that is clauses 184 to 190, which improves energy efficiency and sound insulation in glazing systems, contributing to a more comfortable indoor environment. Then there is curtain walling and cladding systems, that is clauses 186 to 193, which provides guidelines for the installation of curtain walls and cladding systems, ensuring fire safety and structural integrity. Then there is aesthetic and functional considerations at clause 183 and 192, which ensures a balance between visual appeal and structural functionality. So which are the supporting standards? We have BS 8000 of 2014, workmanship standards for general construction. We have KS 1535-8, safety glazing standards for impact resistance. Then we have EN 13830, that is curtain walling product standards. So why does this matter? The 2024 code ensures the safety of glazing systems, protecting occupants from risks associated with glass breakage, while improving energy efficiency and sound insulation to create a safe and sustainable living environment. Chapter number 12, we have staircases, lifts, and escalators. The 1968 code addressed staircases but lacked comprehensive guidelines for lifts and escalators. The 2024 code introduces advanced safety and design considerations for all vertical transportation systems, ensuring accessibility, reliability, and improved emergency preparedness. So the key highlights in this chapter include staircase design at clauses 194 to 203, which specifies dimensions, handrails, and landing design to enhance accessibility and safety. Then we have means of escape at clause 198 and 202, which establishes safe evacuation designs in line with safety standards to ensure quick and efficient exits in case of emergencies. Then we have lifts and escalators, clauses 215 to 219, which provides comprehensive safety measures for lifts and escalators, improving accessibility for all users. Then we have firefighter access, clause 199, which ensures staircases are easily accessible for emergency services, enhancing response time in fire emergencies. Then we have machine pulley room, clauses 227 to 234, which details the installation requirements for lift machine rooms, ensuring proper functioning and safety. The supporting standards for this chapter include KS ISO 21542 accessibility standards for staircases, BS 6262 safe glazing installation specifications. Then we have KS ISO 4190 for passenger lift installation standards. Why does this chapter matter? The 2024 code ensures the safe and accessible design of staircases, lifts, and escalators, enhancing both everyday usability and emergency response. It also provides improved means of escape and access for firefighters, ensuring safer buildings. We are on the chapter on roofing. The 1968 code focused primarily on basic weatherproofing for roofs. In contrast, the 2024 code expands its scope to include thermal insulation, energy efficiency, and the integration of renewable technologies like solar panels to enhance building performance. The key highlights that we have here include roof construction, clause 237, which outlines material selection and ensures structural integrity for roofs, addressing long-term durability. Then there is the roof component design and installation at clause 238, which sets guidelines for the durability and safety of roof components, enhancing overall roof performance. Then there is the timber for roof construction, clause 239, which provides criteria for selecting timber, particularly focusing on fire resistance, ensuring safe roofing materials. Then we have fire safety of roofing materials at clause 240, which establishes fire resistance standards for roofing materials, helping to prevent fire hazards. We have waterproofing and flashing, clauses 241 and 242, which details proper waterproofing methods and installation procedures to prevent water damage and maintain building integrity. The supporting standards for these include KS771 softwood timber grading for structural use, KSEN 1993 and 1999, which are standards for steel and aluminium structures. We have ASTM C208 and D226 and M asphalt and fiberboard specifications for roofing. Why does this chapter matter? The 2024 code ensures safe, durable roof construction that prevents water damage, improves fire resistance, and supports the integration of sustainable technologies. It guarantees that roofing materials meet fire safety standards and are suitable for environmental conditions. It is for water services, drainage, and water disposal. The 1968 code focused on basic drainage and waste disposal practices, but the 2024 code introduces a comprehensive approach addressing modern needs like stormwater management, grey water recycling, and sustainable sanitation systems, aligning with contemporary environmental concerns. Key highlights in this chapter include rainwater harvesting, that is, construction must incorporate systems for rainwater harvesting, reducing reliance on traditional water sources. Then there is compulsory drainage of buildings, which ensures that all buildings are equipped with proper drainage systems for sewage disposal. Then there is control of objectionable discharge, which prohibits sewage discharge from entering stormwater drains or water courses, promoting environmental protection. Then there is the standards for sanitary fixtures. Fixtures must be impermeable, non-corrosive, and discharge properly into the relevant drainage pipes. Then there is inspection and testing of drainage installations. So all drainage installations must be tested in the presence of an authorized official to ensure compliance. We have supporting standards, which is KS 1106 water closet pan standards, KS 1281 specifications for sanitary fixtures. Then there is KS ISO 444 270 flexible connectors and pipe material standards. Why does this chapter matter? The 2024 code enhances water conservation, public health, and flood resilience, promoting sustainable development and environmental protection through modern sanitation and waste management systems. Part number 15, which is electrical installations. The 1968 code offered limited provisions for electrical systems, focusing mostly on basic safety. Well, the 2024 code provides a comprehensive approach to electrical safety, ensuring compliance with Kenya standards and integrating renewable energy systems with a focus on minimizing electrical hazards. Key highlights include conductor or apparatus, that is clause 313, ensures that all conductors and electrical systems are safe and suitable for their intended use. Precautions against metal becoming charged, clause 315, which provides measures to prevent electrical shock risks from charged metal parts. Then there is the high voltage installations at clause 319, with special safety measures for installations exceeding 200 volts, ensuring safe handling of high voltage systems. Then there is fire safety and isolation, clause 316 and 317, which outlines electrical systems isolation to prevent fire hazards and systems malfunctions. Then there is protection against lightning, which establishes lightning protection standards to safeguard buildings and occupants from lightning strikes. The supporting standards that we can pick on this chapter are KS 662 electrical installation safety, KS 1587 National Electric Safety Code, KS IEC 60947 series low voltage switchgear standards. There is the KS 503 lightning protection standards. Then there is the KS 1673-1688 solar PV standards and specifications. Why does this chapter matter? The 2024 code reduces risks of electroshock, fire, and system malfunction by introducing advanced electrical installation practices and safeguarding high voltage systems with a special focus on integrating renewable energy solutions. We are on landscaping, chapter 16. In the 1968 code, landscaping was largely overlooked in the building code. The 2024 code acknowledges landscaping's role in promoting biodiversity, urban cooling, and sustainable site management, establishing clear standards for green spaces. The key highlights that we pick from this chapter include landscape design considerations at clause 329, which focuses on creating practical, sustainable landscape designs that blend aesthetics and function. Then there is planting design at clause 330, which provides guidelines for the aesthetic and functional arrangement of trees and plants to enhance the outdoor environment. Then there is tree and shrub provision at clause 331, which specifies requirements for planting trees and shrubs to improve air quality and provide environmental benefits. Then there is maintenance of soft landscape, clause 333, which establishes maintenance practices to ensure the durability and health of plants, turf, and other soft landscaping elements. Then there is furniture and fixtures in soft landscape, that is clause 334, which incorporates the use of functional outdoor furniture, ensuring its integration with the landscape design. The expected outcomes from these include aesthetic and functional green spaces, which enhances the aesthetic appeal and sustainability of outdoor areas, which improves air quality and promotes environmental health. So why does this chapter matter? The landscaping guidelines ensure that green spaces are not only beautiful, but also contribute to sustainability, longevity, and functionality within the broader design of the building. Chapter 17, Inspection and Maintenance. In contrast to the 1968 code, which lacked post-construction requirements, the 2024 code introduces a proactive approach to building inspections and maintenance. The goal is to ensure that building longevity, safety, and continued compliance through regular inspections and proper maintenance. So the key highlights that we have in that chapter include periodic building inspection at clause 335, which mandates regular inspections to identify potential risks and ensure ongoing compliance with safety standards. Then there is a procedure for building inspection at clause 336, which establishes clear protocols for conducting thorough and detailed inspections of the building. Then there is the implementation of remedial works, that is at clause 337, which focuses on addressing any issues discovered during inspections with a structured plan for corrective actions. Then there is building safety, that is at clause 335, which ensures occupant safety in prioritized during inspections, in reducing the risk of accidents and structural issues. Then there is the maintenance record keeping, clause 337, which emphasizes the importance of documenting inspection outcomes and any repairs or maintenance activities for accountability. We have some expected outcomes from this chapter, which is building safety and longevity. Regular inspections and timely maintenance help prevent structural degradation and safety risks, ensuring long-term building integrity. So why does this chapter matter? By emphasizing ongoing safety and compliance, the 2024 code ensures that buildings remain safe and functional throughout their lifespan, fostering a culture of proactive maintenance and timely interventions. Chapter number 18, Non-waterborne waste disposal. Unlike the 1968 code, which did not address non-waterborne waste disposal, the 2024 code introduces comprehensive guidelines to tackle waste disposal, particularly in rural and semi-urban areas lacking sewage infrastructure. These measures focus on ensuring hygienic waste disposal while preventing environmental contamination. Key highlights from this chapter include provision for refuse disposal, that is at clause 344, which designates proper areas for waste disposal, ensuring organized systems. Then there is access to refuse disposal areas, that is clause 345, which ensures easy and clear access to refuse disposal locations to maintain efficiency and hygiene. Then there is waste containers, clause 346, which specifies appropriate types and sizes of containers for waste, enhancing safety and reducing contamination risks. Then there is the refuse chute design, clause 349, which provides guidelines for designing efficient and hygienic waste chutes, particularly for high-rise buildings. Then there is incinerator provision, clause 351, which offers installation guidelines for incinerators in larger buildings, promoting controlled waste disposal methods. We have some expected outcomes, which include hygienic waste disposal and environmental protection. These measures help ensure safe, hygienic, and environmentally friendly waste disposal, ultimately promoting public health and reducing contamination risks. So why does this chapter matter? The introduction of non-waterborne waste disposal standards addresses a significant gap in infrastructure, especially in underserved areas, ensuring that waste is managed responsibly and health risks are minimized. Chapter number 19, refuse disposal. So we are looking at enhanced waste disposal guidelines. In the 1968 code, refuse disposal was treated generally without specifics for waste segregation, recycling, or sustainability. The 2024 code provides detailed guidelines for managing waste, emphasizing segregation, recycling, and sustainable disposal to enhance building hygiene and public health. There are key highlights, which include provision for refuse disposal at clause 344, which specifies designated areas for refuse disposal to ensure proper waste management and cleanliness. Then we have access to refuse disposal areas at clause 345, which guarantees that these areas are easily accessible, making waste collection efficient and hassle-free. Then we have waste containers at clause 346, which sets clear standards for the types and sizes of containers used, promoting proper waste storage and reducing contamination risks. We have refuse chute design, which provides guidelines for the safe and effective design of waste chutes, especially in multi-story buildings. We have incinerator provision at clause 351, which sets out guidelines for installing incinerators in large buildings, ensuring proper handling of waste that cannot be easily recycled or composted. So we have some expected outcomes from this chapter, which include improved hygiene and health. Proper refuse disposal reduces health risks related to waste buildup and improves overall cleanliness in buildings. Then there is sustainable waste management. By addressing waste segregation and providing suitable disposal methods, the 2024 code promotes a sustainable approach to waste management. So why does it matter? As urbanization increases, waste management becomes more critical. The 2024 code ensures that buildings are prepared to handle waste responsibly, enhancing environmental health and safety. Chapter number 20, people living with disabilities, that is accessibility standards. The 1968 code lacked provisions for accessibility, making it difficult for people with disabilities to navigate buildings. Well, the 2024 code addresses this gap by ensuring buildings are fully accessible from entryways to interior spaces, enhancing inclusivity and ease of use for all individuals. There's access and mobility in the highlights, clause 353, which offers guidelines for features like ramps, wider doorways, and pathways to improve access and mobility for individuals with disabilities. Then there is facilities for disabled people at clause 354, which ensures that sanitation and recreational areas are designed to be accessible, offering appropriate amenities. Then we have the parking requirements at clause 355, which mandates the inclusion of designated accessible parking spaces near the building entrances. And then there is the signage and identification, clause 356, which requires clear and visible signage to help individuals easily navigate accessible routes and facilities. And then we have lift and toilet access at clause 357, which specifies that lifts and toilets must be designated to accommodate people with disabilities, ensuring equal access to essential services. The expected outcomes include inclusive design, That means all buildings will become more inclusive, allowing people with disabilities to move freely and comfortably within spaces. Then there is the legal and societal compliance. The 2024 code aligns with global accessibility standards, ensuring compliance with legal requirements and enhancing social equity. So why does this matter? Accessibility is a fundamental right for people with disabilities. This shift in the code ensures equal access, helping to create more inclusive, fair, and user-friendly environments. On fire safety and fire installations, the, the 1968 code primarily addressed basic firefighting measures such as fire extinguishers and simple exits. The 2024 code introduces advanced fire safety measures, including comprehensive fire detection, suppression systems, and well-planned evacuation routes to better safeguard building occupants. So we have some key highlights, which include fire safety measures at clause 370, which mandates essential fire safety installations such as alarms, sprinklers, and accessible emergency exits to effectively manage fire risk. Clause 372, emergency exits, which specifies that emergency exits must be clearly marked and easily accessible for swift evacuation in the event of a fire. We have fire escape routes at clause 373, which outlines the proper design of escape routes, ensuring safe and efficient exit paths during a fire emergency. Then we have fire detection and suppression systems, clause 375, which focuses on the installation and maintenance of fire detection systems, that is alarms, and suppression systems, that is sprinklers, to control and reduce fire hazards. Then we have smoke control systems at clause 376, which ensures the installation of systems to control the spread of smoke, crucial for maintaining safe air quality in evacuation routes. So the expected outcomes include, by ensuring the presence of these modern fire safety systems, the code significantly reduces fire-related hazards, contributing to the safety of building occupants during emergencies. Some of the reference laws and standards in this include international standards such as the BS 9999 and the KS 566, which govern fire resistance and the design of fire protection systems. Also referenced are KS ISO 6182 for sprinkler systems and KS 203 for hose reel firefighting equipment. The 2024 code ensures that buildings are equipped with modern, comprehensive fire protection measures far beyond the basics set out in the 1968 code. Then these improvements are crucial for the protection of lives and property in the event of a fire emergency. Demolition of buildings. The 1968 code did not address the important aspect of demolition process in the building environment. The 2024 code introduces comprehensive standards for demolition, including safety, waste management, and minimizing impacts on surrounding environments. Some of the key highlights from this chapter include demolition procedures, that is at clause 380, which provides detailed guidelines for carrying out demolition in a safe manner, ensuring that the structural integrity of nearby buildings and structures is not compromised. Then there is the safety measures during demolition at clause 382, which specifies safety precautions, including the use of protective gear and measures to prevent accidents during the demolition process. Then there is the disposal of demolition waste at clause 383, which focuses on proper handling, disposal, and recycling of demolition debris, ensuring that hazardous waste is managed responsibly. Then there is the permit requirements at clause 381, which establishes legal documentation and the necessity of permits for any demolition work to ensure compliance with the local laws and regulations. Then there is impact mitigation at clause 384, with guidelines on minimizing the environmental and structural impact of demolition, protecting the surrounding area, and reducing dust, noise, and other disruptions. The expected outcomes from this chapter include: the 2024 code ensures that building demolition is executed safely, reducing risk to workers, surrounding structures, and the environment. It also encourages sustainable practices such as materials reuse, contributing to environmental conservation. The 2024 code The 2024 Code's comprehensive demolition standards provide an essential framework to ensure that demolition projects are conducted responsibly, efficiently, and in an environmentally conscious manner. Disaster risk management on construction sites. The 1968 Code did not address the critical issue of disaster risk on construction sites. Well, the 2024 Code introduces essential guidelines for managing risks associated with disasters, such as floods, earthquakes, and other hazards during construction. The key highlights that we get from this chapter include risk assessment, that is at clause 385, which requires thorough hazard assessments to identify potential risks such as flooding, earthquakes, or landslides that may threaten the construction site. Safety measures for workers, clause 386, which emphasizes ensuring that workers are equipped with appropriate safety gear and protocols to minimize injury during disaster events. Then there is emergency response plans, which at clause 387, which mandates the development of emergency response plans that outline procedures for evacuations, rescue operations, and first aid. Then there is the role of contractors and subcontractors at clause 389, which specifies that contractors must implement disaster management strategies and ensure that subcontractors are compliant with safety measures. Then we have government oversight, clause 388, which ensures that all disaster risk management practices on site comply with national disaster management laws and regulations. The expected outcomes include: the 2024 Code significantly reduces the risk of disasters during construction by enforcing proactive hazard identification and mitigation strategies. It also ensures the protection of workers and the surrounding community, contributing to safer construction practices. In conclusion, with comprehensive disaster risk management protocols, the 2024 Code provides a solid foundation for safeguarding human life and property during the construction process. Access roads and cul-de-sacs. The 1968 Code did not address the design and construction of private roads, access roads, or cul-de-sacs. The 2024 Code establishes comprehensive standards to ensure the accessibility, safety, and durability of these roads and related infrastructure. So some of the highlights that we get from this chapter include private road design, that is that clause 497, which provides clear guidelines on the layout and design of private roads, including the planning of access roads and cul-de-sacs for both functionality and accessibility. Then we have a provision for footpath, that is at clause 497, which ensures that pedestrian safety by mandating footpaths alongside roads, enhancing walkability, and protecting pedestrians from traffic. Then there is the road width and gradient, clause 498 to 503, which specifies the width, gradients, and curves for private roads, ensuring proper vehicle access and efficient traffic flow. Then there's the surfacing requirements at 508 to 509, which establishes surfacing standards to enhance the durability, functionality, and safety of roads, accounting for heavy vehicle use and weather conditions. Then we have the drainage at clause 515, which outlines the requirements for road drainage systems to prevent flooding and ensure the longevity of private roads. The expected outcomes: the 2024 code ensures that private roads and cul-de-sacs are well designed, safe, durable, and accessible, benefiting both vehicle users and pedestrians. It also guarantees the construction of roads that can withstand weather conditions, enhance safety, and reduce environmental impact. So with the 2024 code, there is a significant advancement in ensuring well-planned, functional, and safe roads and cul-de-sacs in both urban and rural settings. Our final chapter is the miscellaneous provisions. That is chapter number 25 of the 2024 code, includes various provisions that support and enhance the overall framework of building regulations. These provisions ensure that all aspects of the building process are properly regulated, from enforcement to transitional measures. So we have key highlights. We have a revocation of LN 15 of 1968, that is at clause 517. The 2024 code revokes the previous legal notice from 1968, updating regulations to reflect modern building standards. Then we have the supporting schedules, which with detailed tables and figures that provide technical support for regulations, ensuring clarity and precision in the application of the standards. Then we have transitional provisions, which addresses how the transition from the 1968 code to the 2024 code will occur, ensuring compliance with the new regulations while taking into account existing projects. Then we have the enforcement mechanisms, which establish mechanisms for enforcing the new building regulations at various stages of construction, ensuring consistency and compliance across the industry. Then we have updates on previously issued codes, which reflects changes made to older codes, ensuring the 2024 code is consistent with modern practices, materials, and technologies. So the expected outcomes from this chapter include: these provisions support the seamless integration of the new building code and standards, ensuring continued compliance and enhancing safety, efficiency, and clarity within the construction process. So, in conclusion, with these miscellaneous provisions, the 2024 code will ensure smooth transitions and enhanced enforcement of regulations, fostering a modern, compliant, and safe built environment. Thank you very much.